consult-oriented CV and take these inputs with a pinch of salt if you want. This is just from my experience. So the first set of things, whenever you are making your CV, try to top load and front load your impact. So what I mean by that is, typically you would want to start with the strongest part of your CV. So I know that typically colleges have some restrictions. So working with the bounds of the restriction, if you have to put academics on top, you have to put academics on top. But if you have flexibility afterwards, try to put things as on the top as possible, because everyone's in a hurry while they're shortlisting. It just helps to see your highest impact work up front. Also, psychologically speaking, you are priming the other person positively when they see some strength of yours, so that if there are neutral points which follow later on, then they can be read more positively because you're already positively primed by seeing something very good up top. So that's about top loading. Front loading, just applying the same principle to every line. Okay, that how do you go about essentially making this every line count? So how do you do that? Typically, you would want to have every line cover three things: the R, the C, and the A. R is the result, C is the context, A is the action. So let's say you were part of a fest. So that's the context. You did something and the footfall increased by 150%. So a line should essentially end up covering all of these three things. I would lead with the result. So that's front loading the line. So increased footfall by 150% by instituting this in my college's fest. So in this case, I'm using RAC. So depending on how you want to place the A and C, that's on you. But leading with the result helps. So just keep this point in mind. It allows you to put your best foot forward. Now, there's no one principle for it. What's the section and how do you do this? You have to really see what is your level of comfort with this. And the associate point would be that one line, like one page width, should just cover one line. No point should ideally spill over to 2 or 3 lines. That makes it very hard to read. The second point is about the spikes and the sectional balance. So when you're talking about consulting, you might have often heard from people, or you will hear from people, that you have to have spikes. Roughly speaking, a spike is something that when a bunch of CVs have come to the recruiter, then your CV essentially stands out on at least some of the parameters, or 1 or 2 of the parameters in a particular section. That's a spike. So I'll take my example. When I was applying for jobs and I had my undergrad background. So in my undergrad, my academic performance was a spike because it was among the top 1 to 2 or 5% of my batch in IIM Ahmedabad. That was a spike. If let's say you're a national level swimmer or a national level sports player, national level dancer, so your extracurricular section will be counted as a spike. If you were the core team member in your undergrad of a particular fest, then your position of responsibility might be counted as a spike. So typically the wow factor is that if you can have 2 spikes, that will be great. But spikes really become meaningful when you have some engagement along with impact. So saying that you worked on something for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, and then being able to quantify the impact of it is what matters. If you said you work for 24 months, so you have the engagement sorted out, but you don't tell any of the results to me, you don't show my impact to me, then the value of the engagement is lost. So make sure you have at least 2 sections very well sorted out for you. And then these principles are followed. Overall, however, it helps to appear as an all-rounder. What do I mean by that? So let's say if you just have one crazy spike, let's say you were brilliant at academics in undergrad, so you're exceptional master in one thing, or you're just a national level swimmer. It tells me just one part of your personality, not anything else. Because here I am testing for various skills. I'm trying to understand your problem solving ability. I'm trying to understand your ability to work in teams. So just being exceptional at one thing might get you a shortlist at times, but it's better if you have 2 strong spikes and then other sections also not left completely weak. You cannot say that my 2 sections are sorted and then that's it. So being just a generalist, a jack of all trades helps, because that's essentially what the job is all about. So make sure you have that. And then going back to RCA, make sure the impacts are clearly highlighted, which is the third point, which is quantify and highlight impact. Now, quantification becomes important because let's say you say I had a huge impact, like the footfall, taking the old example, the footfall increased significantly. Now, the word significantly can mean different things for different people. So helping quantify this really, when it comes to consulting, help, because when you're suggesting something to a client, this is what you will go for also. So in many ways, what you can try to assume is your CV is itself one more data point to them on your ability. The way you write your CV is another data point of whether you are a good consultant or not. Because CV is a communication tool at the end of the day. Are you able to think of it this way? The CV recruiter has a problem to solve for. The problem is, do I shortlist this person or not? Your CV has to be the answer to that problem. And the way you write it, by top loading, front loading, by quantifying, you are giving them a better answer to that problem so that they can come to a conclusion more quickly. So having that mindset helps. Just see these 2 points. Develop a new algorithm to reduce loan processing time. I will have so many questions for this. How did you do it? By how much did you do the reduction? This could be, I could do 1 hour of work and still be able to write this point, or I could have spent 1 year doing this. So is it 1 year or 1 day? This line does not tell me that. Whereas this line, reduce loan processing time by XX%. Now this is 10%. Then I might say, that's interesting. If it's 40%, I would be even more curious. By developing a new algorithm, dash, 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 dash. By just adding the number, I get a better sense of how much, what kind of engagement this would have been. So that helps. And then hygiene factors, spell check, understandability. Make sure that you have not overtly jargonized your CV. Now, you might, let's say, be coming from a technical background. Consultants, like I've already mentioned, do not necessarily have people from one type of background, right? People are coming from all sorts of background. Me personally, I'm a civil engineer. If let's say someone who's worked in, for Microsoft, let us say, and has worked on very technical projects, if they tell me a lot of details about their project which I don't understand, then they're just wasting that space in their CV. So make sure that your CV language is understandable to the layperson also, and the impact comes out very clearly. Don't jargonize too much. And then spacing and formatting. Okay. Now, really, and you would want to have seniors, people in the industry review your CV to the extent possible. Okay. Try to see if you can get people's CV and have like a best case example for that. How do you make your CV? So especially following these principles. And then I would say that when reaching out to people, please exercise wisdom, because people will have varied opinions and they might be divergent at times. So you really have to exercise wisdom on which opinion to follow and which to ignore. Now, how do you add value? So I mentioned about different sections being there. How do you add value? So just very short pointers on each of them. Academics, professional qualification. Obviously, and it goes without saying that you're quantifying everything. Keep it temporally relevant to the extent possible. Things done in school are far less relevant than things done recently. So if you have a choice between something which is done more recently and done in the past, obviously the recency things win hands over, because these are the recent skills that I'm aware of when I look at your CV. So academic and professional qualification, just keeping it temporarily relevant is good enough. When we talk about work experience and internships, now this really becomes a very important section. Clearly, I want to see your RC. I want to see what kind of work you have done, what's the context, and what's the impact you have created in the organization that you have helped. But it's not just about the hard coding that you have done. It's not just the hard skills that you have done. A lot of it is because I want to understand if you're a team player or not, and that shows in the kind of things you have done in your work experience. So if you have taken workplace initiatives, if you can bring in points which you might not have considered right now, which focus your strength of what kind of a team building, what kind of team builder you are, what kind of a team player you are, that would be very nice to bring in your work experiences and internships. Okay, so having a well-rounded personality show in really everything that you're putting on the paper will help the recruiter solve their problem more quickly. Okay, because this is something that you would be expected to be good at, soft skills, when you're working. Scholastic achievements, certifications, and competitions. A lot of people I've seen assume that the other person would know what I'm talking about. As an engineer, I'm not very aware of what kind of competitions people from a commerce background or from a law background take part in the college. So don't assume that people know what you're talking about. So whatever you're saying, mentioning the number of participants, just having a short description about the whatever the achievement is, having a sense of the scale that I won out of so many people, it's a national level, it's an international level event, helps. Do not assume that the other person knows. Like, my go-to strategy is just assume that that person is as different as they can be from me, and they should be able to understand every word on my CV. That's the golden standard when you're going about it, and be impressed at the same time. Position of responsibility. Sometimes people focus a lot on just mentioning their role. And I guess from the previous slide, it should be obvious that mention the work, mention the soft skills as well as the hard skills that you bring in, mention the impact. So same thing, I think I'm repeating to a certain extent for every section so that the points are really emphasized upon. Research projects, focus on impact, avoid jargon majorly. Again, this is like a red flag area where people jargonize things a lot. And then extracurricular activities. If you have to prioritize between a point of participation and point of winning, obviously winning matters more than participation, because participation does not tell me how much effort you have put in. You might have put in, I understand, you might have put in your life into it, but I don't know while reading your CV. Winning gives a much more clear indication, but you have to balance it out with the scale of the competition. So that's roughly it. How do you add value in each of the section if you're in doubt? I think these two slides put together should help you make a very clearly consult oriented CV. And at the end of the day, just ask yourself this question every time you're looking at your CV. Once you think it's final, are these, and this is from my perspective, if these things are getting tick marked, are you an interesting go-getter who will add value working in teams? So if you have these 4 tick marks, are you coming across as an interesting person? Are you coming across as a person who is a go-getter? Do what is required to get the job done. Are you someone who adds values along multiple dimensions of work? And then are you someone who can work in teams comfortably? Then I think there is a significant chance of getting a shortlist and a callback from a consulting firm. So I hope this question and then the broader aspect, to think of this as the problem solving process, would help you align your CV with consult oriented firms very well. So we close the CV discussion here.